in our exercise image, right? You see, they seem to have the rotation. So let's follow the rotations and how we can create those rotations. Basically, what I'll be doing is before I loft anything, I'll be previewing this off. I'll take all these curves, right? Planar curves, and let me grab another curve. And I'll be rotating these curves on and this time XZ coordinate or XZ axis, right? But where will I be rotating these curves? Probably where I'll be rotating these curves is the in-between lines that I already have here. And their midpoints or their points that we already extracted here, it's completely up to us. But let's extract this point here and wire display and hit it. Have it all over the place. Okay. And then grab the rotate component. This time what I'll be rotating is my geometries are this, right? What is my angle? My angle is going to be determined by a value which will be supplying to radians because Grasshopper take radians as a rotation unit. And what we can say now is 120 for rotations. And now it's basically taking the xy, 0.xy, that's why it's rotating everything on this particular point. But if I go to vector and on plane, if I grab an Z plane, if I connect it to my plane, you see now every component is being rotated here, right? But what I want to have is taking this as my rotation axis. So what I can do here is, YZ component is what I need here. We can proceed with that, or we can proceed with rotation, transformation, or Pavilion, rotate with axis. So we can put the axis here, X lines of all this and then put the rotate, but let's proceed with the planes for this case. And what we are doing here is, you see, I am rotating them back and forth, but the angle is super high here and the angle is basically same for all the curves. So what I'll be grabbing another gene pool, editing it, like having 5 different values, no decimals, and like let's say mid 50 or minus 50 to 50. Let's see if this is gonna help. So because what we are having here is the start and the end curves are rotated a bit further, so why don't we mimic that as well? So you see, when I put this in at 50 degrees, it's actually like these curves, when I put this 50 degrees, it's actually too close to the ground, right? So what I can do here, I can either play with this or I can play with the height. So because now when I rotate this towards here, my height gonna go down. So what I can say here is edit this, but this time maybe 350, so that I always see when I move this down, you see it goes lower. Okay, this one. And we can do the same thing for this one. Maybe we can increase the height of this a bit further. Okay. And for the others, what we can do is we can make it smaller and smaller. Something as such. Okay, and if I connect this now, okay, let's preview this all off and preview this on. You see what I'm having here is sort of a curve that is actually moving all over the place. But if I play around with this, you see, I am creating this nice kind of a nice kind of a transition in between. And if I play around with the location of these points, rather than obviously you can play around with the heights as well, but if you play around with the locations, you see the location of these points are changing the form as well. I mean, this is a parametric setup for us on what we are doing here. And you see, since it doesn't have that much of a rotations, this space is not super accurate. And this is all, I think it's fine. It's really okay, right? And the next thing that I wanted to do is basically I'll be of course keeping these points because these are my points. And maybe one thing for the visualization purposes, you can create a preview, custom preview. We can have a color swatch on a white kind of a thing. And what I can do here, group this guy and color it with white so that I know when I see white thing, it's all about visualizing. And I'll group this as well. So what I can do is I can preview this off. And you see I'm having my pavilion here. Again, if I change this, pavilion changes. They are moving all over the place. They move. Obviously, we can increase this height, right? Like, if you don't want to do that, but let's randomize. I mean, we can see a lot of different options when we randomize this. But what I wanted to do is actually, let's change this to 5 meters. It will give me a chance to have the height, and I have it as such. Of course, this guy over here, this guy over here, and this dude goes down. Okay, so it's again completely up to you. Play around with it and experience with that and see what you like. So that's basically pretty much it for this video. Maybe I can just change this a bit like this so that we can easily see what is happening here. So this is it for this video. In the next one, we'll talk about how we can create all these panels on top of our work.